And it's the same thing. We have to start voting with our dollars. Absolutely. But looking ahead, you mentioned Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, record, not just big profits, record profits off the bailout money. Obama's reform of credit cards was to let them go from 15% to 30% above loan sharking rates. And I keep talking about the breaking point, Gerald. As the system squeezes and squeezes and squeezes, and they have announced in Austin they're going to, and the Travis County is going to raise taxes on property, taxes on septic tanks, taxes on everything, taxes on water, taxes on trash. Doesn't the government understand that there just isn't more for them to steal? I mean, don't they understand?
No, they don't understand because of the lifestyles that they live. Look, Alex, the worst job I ever had in my life was when I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate. I may have mentioned this on the air. I'd be hanging around the back of the chamber with my pal, and a senator would walk in, and my buddy would leave me to go follow the senator like a little puppy dog to go pull out the chair to help him sit down. These people live like royalty. Look at they fly around the world in their own planes that we, the taxpayer, pay for. They're totally disconnected.
Yeah, now they're giving the entire.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I'm interrupting. Now they're giving the entire House leadership and Senate leadership their own super luxury jets, their own security. They're just absolutely out of control.
Exactly. They're totally disconnected, just like they were when in France, when it was off with their heads. They don't understand what's going on with the average everyday working person who has a lousy job, crummy pay, lost benefits, and don't even know if they're going to get a job. Oh, and here's one. How about getting out of college and being, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 in debt? Look, we know Ivy League graduates at a law school that can't find jobs. You think they're going to be angry? The revolution has begun. As you pointed out, they're squeezing the little people. Boy, you go through a red light, but they got it on camera. They got you. Everything, the septic tanks, taxes, on and on and on. Toilet taxes, we're going to continue to see it. The revolution is happening. And so now what we're also saying is that we're forecasting a third party by 2012. And we're calling it, for lack of another name, progressive libertarian. Progressive in the things that you talk about with organic foods, with a higher quality of life, without buying junk. Libertarian in the truest sense. Look, this is classic empire decline. Could you imagine being involved in foreign entanglements costing us, what is it costing us, $8 billion a month just to be in Iraq? And at a time when the Treasury is being depleted. So that's the new party that we're seeing forming. And possibly someone like a Jesse Ventura or others could be leading this movement.
Now, Gerald, in the time we have with you, I want to take some calls. I want to expand on this. There's dangers, though. The establishment, generally when the banks loot a country, they fund a communist or a fascist movement to consolidate control, or a communist movement. And we're in a fascist paradigm right now, but I see through Obama or a future president that the establishment is attempting to sell socialism or communism, but really that's just a way to consolidate the people's wealth and give it to offshore banks, but selling to the little guy that, oh, yes, like Michael Moore's new film, capitalism did this, and so the answer is rob the rich. Put caps on what people can be paid. But that won't be put on the big banks and the offshore corporations. That's going to be put on local businesses and local companies. And so kind of the howling mob of people that don't trust the government, but they can be misdirected by the social engineers to then further rob the hereditary enemy of the elite, what's left of the middle class. And so how do we navigate that? Because we know the social engineers have got a lot of tricks up their sleeves.
Well, it's going to be a difficult one, and you really nailed it. They're taxing the American business people out of business. They're giving the big tax breaks to the big guys, and Michael Moore is wrong about capitalism. Capitalism isn't dead. Capitalism didn't cause this problem. It was caused by the criminal gangs, the Wall Street mob. You've heard me say this. If the names on Wall Street were named Celente, Caruso, Mondavi, Buitoni, Rossini, Bellini, they call it the mafia. But you're not allowed to call these white shoe boys crooks and criminals. Oh, no. They don't do loan sharking. That's just the cost of doing business to charge 30% on a credit card. Oh, no, they don't do Ponzi schemes or pyramid scams. They do credit default swaps, auction rate securities. No, and they're blaming it on capitalism, just like you said, to turn it into fascism. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. This is greed and corruption. This is the Robert Rubins. This is the Henry Paulsons. This is the Larry Summers, the genius. Larry the Genius Summers. These are the people that have created it. Timothy Geithner. There's nothing wrong with capitalism, so they're going to blame it on capitalism, and just like you pointed out, they're going to use it to turn it around to gain more control.
And what's amazing about this is we know that it's Madoff who founded the NASDAQ. We know it's Ken Lay that came up with the global carbon trading scam. Schwarzenegger's announcing he's going to ban TVs above 40 inches, tax all the rest. Taxes on firearms, taxes on farms, taxes on ranches, taxes on beef, taxes on plastic. A wet blanket on an already staggering economy that is burning out, that is becoming extinguished. They want to destroy the economy so that they can consolidate it. And we witness these criminals just expanding their scams and never stopping and only getting more greedy with no end in sight.
No end in sight. And here's another trend that we're working on. I'm giving two trends. The first one was for 2010 is Terror 2010. The next one is Buy America. As they devalue the dollar and the currencies around the world are worth more, they're going to come in here and buy this country up for dimes on the dollar. So all you people out there, you're going to, you know who the man you're going to be working for? Well, the man's going to be from China. You're going to be from countries with money. And that's what's going on in this country. We're all going to be enslaved.
Stay there, Gerald. We'll come back and talk more about that. Gerald Celente is our guest. And his website is trendsresearch.com, trendsresearch.com. I'm Alex Jones. Our websites are Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, and Infowars.net. Stay with us.
Direct to you. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Gerald Celente will be with us for a half hour, till the half-hour point in the next hour. Very honored to have him. I want to throw out some news headlines at him as well. We're going to start taking your calls in T-minus 5 minutes when we go into the fourth and final hour here. Basically, government is a giant nexus point that allows corruption to pour in and feed off the people. The Congress won't even read and won't even publish all of the health care bill. They passed NAFTA and GATT without reading it. Remember, told us how great NAFTA and GATT would be. Gerald, how is the system going to keep the people from removing NAFTA and GATT, ending the open borders, ending all the welfare for illegals? How are they going to be able to continue the war when there's giant soup kitchens and long lines? How are they going to be able to continue this? Well, my answer is a control grid. U.S. News and World Report has announced that the police have kill switches in basically all the new cars through OnStar and other systems where they just turn your car off. They always planned that. I mean, clearly they've put this high-tech control grid in knowing they were going to bring in this tyranny later. But still, I think it's wishful thinking. Like you said, desperate people do desperate things. They're not going to be able to control what happens.
No, they're not. It's way beyond their control. You know, people should understand as they look around and they look at who these world leaders are or their own leaders, you know, Nancy Pelosi's, the Barney Franks, the Bonners, the Shelbys, the Dodds, the Obamas, the Geithners, the Summers. Remember all those people you couldn't stand in high school that wanted to be the class president or the head of the student council in college? or the people that worked on the newspapers, the people that you really, that they always thought that they were better than you. Well, guess what, folks? All those people you couldn't stand in high school, those are the people that are telling you what to do right now. And just as you looked at them back in high school, and you saw that they were a bunch of brown nosers and suck-ups, and they really didn't know much about anything other than having an attitude. Well, that's who they are. They still don't know much about anything. They pretend to, and they have this phalanx of guards around them, and all of the pomp and circumstances that pumps them up. And of course, they're living these privileged lives, so they actually do think they're better than the rest of us. They're not going to be able to hold it together. We're going to see also, one of our forecasts is that we're going to see great secessionist movements really take hold, and we can actually see the breakup of the republic, just like we saw the breakup of the former Soviet Union.